Steph Curry is widely regarded as the greatest shooter of all time. And at the same time, he's one of the most renowned and celebrated athletes of all time. Curry is a 2-time MVP winner, a 3-time champion, the greatest shooter of all time, and the engine of a record 73-win team. He had the most efficient volume scoring season ever. He has the highest multi-year offensive player impact plus-minus in the league. Out of the top 10 seasons in offensive PIPM since 2010, Curry owns 5, including the top 2. We could go on and be here all night. One thing's for sure, and that's that Curry is one of the greatest basketball players to ever play the game. I mean, we're talking about a man that revolutionized how the game of basketball is played and led the Golden State Warriors team to 5 straight NBA appearances, winning 3 of those. Curry has made such an impact in the game of basketball, leading him to a godlike status among fans and his peers. Despite that, Curry remains the humble little kid that came into the NBA without much expectations, and then went on to become one of the greatest players of all time. Here are some of the top 10 things you probably didn't know about Steph Curry. It's difficult to even say it, talk less of actually believing it, but Curry wasn't thought of as one of the top prospects in the country. Sounds crazy, but it's true. Curry went to Charlotte Christian School in North Carolina, where he completed his high school education. Despite being so small, Curry led his high school to 3 conference titles and 3 state playoff appearances. He was named All-State, Teleconference, and Team MVP during this time. In his senior season, Curry shot nearly 50% from three-point range. Despite all these achievements and the talent for shooting, Curry was only offered scholarships from small schools like VCU, Winthrop, and Davidson. The reason is simple, and it's something Curry had to deal with early on in his career, and that was his size. At the time, he was just 6 feet and 160 pounds. Of course, now he's 6'3" and 190. Curry decided to go to Davidson, and in his freshman year, he finished second in scoring, only behind Kevin Durant. During a speech he gave at his high school jersey retirement ceremony, Curry said, "My freshman year, I went through some downs about whether I could play on the varsity level back then. One of my only regrets is not trying out that year. That taught me to go for it, to not let what people might tell you, no matter how short or skinny you might be, deter you from getting where you want to go." The next season, Curry took Davidson to their first NCAA tournament match victory since 1969 in a 40-point performance, and this spurred them to a wild run where they reached the Elite Eight. Unfortunately, they lost to the Kansas Jayhawks, who would later go on to win the tournament. In his final year in college, Curry averaged 28.6 PPG, 5.6 APG, 4.4 RPG, and 2.5 SPG. You would reason that it's only natural that the greatest shooter of all time, and a player who took all the headlines from King LeBron at his prime, would have been one of the top picks in the draft, right? But that was not the case. In the 2009 NBA draft, Curry was passed over 6 times and eventually ended up as the 7th pick. Players like James Harden, Blake Griffin, Hasheem Thabeet, Tyreke Evans, some names you probably forgot, went ahead of Curry. But Curry wasted no time in proving these other teams wrong and later finished second behind Tyreke Evans for the Rookie of the Year with averages of 17.5 PPG, 5.9 APG, and 1.9 SPG. Curry also made an impressive triple-double that year, which included an amazing 36 points. You can only imagine if Curry's career would have taken a different path if he was drafted higher. Let us know in the comments if you think Curry would have attained the same GOAT status if he was drafted higher, or to another team. Stephen and Ayesha Curry met when they were only teenagers at their church youth group in Charlotte, North Carolina. However, this wasn't like those love stories in Disney movies because it wasn't all love at first sight between the future basketball player and culinary guru. A few years later, the two met again and reconnected in Hollywood, where Ayesha was pursuing an acting career, and Curry was visiting for an awards show. Eventually, both of them sparked an affair later on, and Steph proposed to her in his parents' driveway, the same spot that both of them shared their first kiss. The couple later got married on July 30th, 2011. These two have proven time and again that they are the ultimate couple goals. They say the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, and that is the case with Stephen Curry. Steph's father is none other than Del Curry, who retired as the Charlotte Hornets' all-time leader in points and three-pointer field goals. His father is also a former Sixth Man of the Year. Well, at least we know where all the talent comes from. Steph's mother, Sonia, played college volleyball at Virginia Tech, where she met Steph's father. But that's not all. Curry's brother is also a professional basketball player who, after short stints in the NBA and D-League, now plays for the Philadelphia 76ers. Having a prominent NBA player as your father can have its perks and rewards, to say the least. At an age where most kids were playing hide-and-seek in the park, or playing video games, Steph Curry sat courtside with famous NBA players and starred in a TV commercial. Due to his father's fame and recognition, Steph starred in a Burger King commercial alongside his dad. But does having a famous father get you on the phone with the former president of the United States of America? Stay tuned to find out which former president Curry has a good relationship with. Long before Curry switched to Under Armour, a lot of fans didn't know that Curry was once a brand ambassador for the multi-billion-dollar company Nike. Before Curry attained his GOAT status in the game, he initially signed a contract with Nike, who would eventually let Steph Curry slip through their fingers and sign with Under Armour simply because they underestimated Curry's potential. In the summer of 2013, Curry's contract was up for renewal, and during the pitch meeting, one of Nike's officials accidentally addressed Steph as Stefan. And according to reports, it wasn't the first time Nike officials were making this mistake. And then it got worse from there when a PowerPoint slide featured Kevin Durant's name, and after that, Steph's father, who was present at the meeting, just lost it. It might seem minor, but not paying attention to things like that can turn people off. Besides, think about it. It's painful and really difficult to overcome a situation when someone forgets your name. Also, there were other factors leading to this divorce. One was that Nike was willing to give young players like Kyrie Irving and Anthony Davis their own company-sponsored camps for promising young athletes. Curry wanted to be able to hold his own camps, but that wasn't part of the deal that Nike was offering him. It was clear that Nike didn't consider Curry on the same level as they viewed LeBron, Kobe, or Durant at the time. And that's not the kind of respect Curry felt he deserved. Under Armour was willing to give him what Nike was not, so Curry decided to move on, and the rest, they say, is history. When you win 3 NBA championships, become a unanimous MVP winner, and change the game of basketball, going to the White House and meeting the President of the United States becomes only natural. The Currys and the Obamas bonded, and the two families eventually became really close. Whenever Curry is not on the court making those ridiculous three-pointers or working out at the gym, he likes to go out and chill with Obama, and they both like to engage in some competitive golf battles and friendly banter. Ever since Curry was a little kid, he always knew he wanted to do one thing, and that was to play basketball. But due to his slender frame and height, he was always faced with comments from people that he was not tall enough or strong enough. It was the same reason why none of the top universities came to invite Curry to play for them. Neither did big basketball programs offer him any scholarship. Even Virginia Tech, where his dad had played before, didn't take Steph. So it was only natural that he took inspiration from the shortest player ever, Tyrone Muggsy Bogues, who stood at just 5'3". Muggsy inspired Curry, reminding him that you could become anyone you wanted to if you set your mind to it. Many people assume that Stephen is Curry's first name. However, Stephen is his middle name. Curry's sharpshooting ability isn't the only thing that he shares with his father. They also share the same name. His father's name is Wardell Stephen Curry I, but his father was called Dell. Curry's full name is Wardell Stephen Curry II, but he's referred to as Stephen in the NBA. Those who know Stephen well know that he's a devout Christian, and he doesn't shy away from his religious beliefs. There were rumors that one of the reasons why Stephen's contract with Nike did not work out was because he wanted to write his Bible scriptures on his boots, to which Nike disagreed. However, for every game, Curry writes, "I can do all things" on his Under Armour sneakers. Those words are taken from Philippians 4:13. This is a ritual that Curry has been following ever since he was at Davidson. Comment below to let us know your thoughts, and be sure to subscribe for more. And don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss another one of our videos. We'll see you next time, latest Hoops fans. Until then, keep shooting your shot!